Coming up on the Poke Report, see how OSU Wrestling did at the highly anticipated National Duels Invitational.
And a Cowboy legend returns to Boone Pickens as we recap Saturday's game versus Kansas State.
And how OSU men's basketball star and top scorer Victorious Miller comes from a family you might recognize. All this and more on the Poke Report.
Hi, and welcome to the Poke Report, where we talk all things OSU sports. I'm Peyton Schmidt.
And I'm Zach Burr. Thanks for joining us today. We are inside historic Boone Pickens Stadium. Now, Peyton, we got a lot to cover this week, a lot of sports in action.
That's right, Zach. It's been very busy, but exciting. We've had 5 different teams competing, and it's been busy, jam-packed schedule, but we're going with it.
Absolutely. So let's get right into it. OSU Wrestling competed at the National Duels Invitational this past week. Fabi and Kennedy break down how they competed against some of the top teams in the country.
After an impressive showing at National Duels, the Oklahoma State Cowboys are turning the page quickly as they prepare for Friday's duel against Air Force. Oklahoma State picked up solid team wins last weekend and saw several standout individual performances. At 165 pounds, LaDarian Lockett delivered one of the Cowboys' biggest matches of the event against Iowa's Michael Caliendo, while freshman Sergio Vega continued to build momentum in the early part of the season, pulling a takedown in overtime against the Hawks.
Head coach David Taylor said he liked the team's toughness and energy throughout the national duels, but emphasized that there's still room to grow with the very young team of multiple freshmen early in the season.
It was good. I think that was there was some emotion in that duel. So I thought we did a good job of kind of rising to it. We had 6 freshmen in the lineup. 6 out of 10 weight classes are freshmen. So we're going to keep getting better. And I thought our guys are doing a lot of stuff. Maybe it's not quite resulting in points right now, but it will. It will. So
now the attention shifts to Friday night when the Cowboys travel to Colorado to face Air Force. OSU enters the match looking to carry over the intensity they showed at national duels, where several wrestlers picked up key wins and the team showed real growth in the high-pressure matches.
Air Force brings a disciplined lineup and a physical style, so Oklahoma State will lean on its depth, especially in the middle weights, to set the tone early. The Falcons are known for keeping matches close, so OSU will have to create separation with their pressure, scoring attacks, and bonus point potential.
Oklahoma State looks to build on what they showed at the national duels this past weekend and take another step forward tonight against the Falcons. The Cowboys will hit the mat tonight at 8:30 p.m. in Colorado Springs.
This is the Cowboys' first match since national duels this past weekend, and this is going to give them the momentum for their busy season ahead.
For the Poke Report, I'm Fabi Ruiz.
And I'm Kennedy Brock.
All right, y'all. You can catch the next Cowboy Wrestling Duel tonight at 7:30 against Air Force on ESPN+. Now, Peyton, those underclassmen wrestlers aren't the only ones showing out. Sophomore Victorious Miller for Cowboy basketball is also off to a hot start.
Yeah, Zach, and he comes from a unique background, a music background at that, but he's also been doing his thing on the court, and Austin Wishart has more about his unique upbringing.
I'm outside Gallagher-Iba Arena, where sophomore Victorious Miller has become one of the most talked about players on the roster. Part of that spotlight comes from his talent, but part of it comes from his lineage. Miller is the son of rapper Silk the Shocker and nephew of Master P. Growing up under that level of fame can be challenging, but Miller says it also has its perks.
Them having that famous background, I definitely got a lot of things like being media trained and stuff like that, and also just being a great person. I learned a lot of stuff from them. So
Miller's dad, Vashon Miller, or Silk the Shocker, is known for his unorthodox flow, often rapping ahead or behind of the beat. His major albums include Charge It to the Game, 1998, and Made Man, 1999. Silk the Shocker's older brother, Percy Miller, or Master P, is the founder of No Limit Records. No Limit was one of the most influential independent hip-hop labels of the 1990s. His most notable albums are Ice Cream Man 1996 and Ghetto D 1997. They both went multi-platinum. He was most known for pioneering the No Limit sound, which consists of heavy beats, aggressive delivery, and massive release schedules. Victorious Miller says his dad and his uncle are the reasons why he is who he is today.
Outside looking in, they probably think I'm from LA, so you probably think all the glitz and glamours, but I ain't tripping. If you sit there and talk to me, you'll know, like, I'm just like y'all.
It's a big change moving from LA to Stillwater, Oklahoma, from flash and fame to fields and farms. However, Miller says that's exactly what he needs.
I mean, to come here, lock in. I got my brother and my sister with me, so I still get that family aspect, and I ain't got to really look over my shoulder. Or Stillwater's a lovely place.
Victorious Miller is carrying on the family legacy and building a name for himself, and so far he's doing just that. Miller continues to carve out his own identity here at OSU, not as the son of a superstar, but as a rising athlete with his own goals, his own game, and his own future. I'm Austin Wishard with the Poke Report.
Thanks for that, Austin. What a great pickup for the Steve Lutz era. And Zach, they are now a month into the season, and they're still undefeated. What are your thoughts about Cowboy basketball?
Yeah, they're looking hot. I mean, they're off to a really good start. Building on last season being Lutz's first year, and they've already got some really good wins against A&M in South Florida. But to break down them so far and the rest of the Big 12, let's go to our basketball expert in Boston Barnett.
Hello and welcome to the Big 12 Roundup Basketball Edition. I'm Boston Barnett, here to give you a breakdown of everything you need to know about men's and women's basketball across the Big 12. Let's start with the ladies this week. West Virginia has entered the top 25 at number 23 in the AP poll, giving the Big 12 5 total teams in that top 25. Baylor sits still at number 7, TCU makes a big jump to number 10, Iowa State rises to 12, and Oklahoma State moves up 2 spots to number 18. Now let's talk games. Last Friday, the Duke Blue Devils traveled to West Virginia to take on the Mountaineers, where Tana May had 10 points of her own to lead the Blue Devils and was assisted by Ashlyn Jackson and Ariana Robertson, who each added 9. However, it wasn't enough, as West Virginia's Sydney Shaw had 16 on the night, along with Celia Riviere and Gia Cook, who added 12 each for the Mountaineers, giving them that 57-49 win. Then on Sunday, TCU traveled to NC State to take on the Wolfpack, where they had 4 players score in double figures, but were led by Marta Suarez, who had 26 on the night. Olivia Miles and Clara Silva added double-doubles for the Horned Frogs. The Wolfpack were led by Tilda Triger with 15 points, and she was helped by Destiny Lunan with 10 points and 4 steals. The Horned Frogs get the win 69-59. Now on to the men's, where the Big 12 is still tied with the SEC and the Big 10 for the most teams in the AP poll with 6. Houston moves down to number 2, Arizona moves up 1 to number 4, BYU drops 2 spots to number 9, Texas Tech falls 4 spots to number 15, Iowa State stays the same at number 16, and Kansas moves up 1 spot to number 24. Now let's talk about some games. BYU traveled to Boston to face off against the number 3 ranked UConn Huskies in TD Garden. True freshman AJ DeBanza put up 25 points for the Cougars, along with 6 rebounds and 2 steals. Richie Saunders added 17 points of his own with 4 rebounds and a steal as well. But UConn had 3 players score 21 points in Alex Carabin, Terrace Reed Jr., and Silas Demery Jr. UConn wins it 86-84. Then on Sunday, Houston traveled to Auburn to take on the Tigers, where another true freshman for the Big 12 in Kingston Flemings went off. Flemings had 22 points, along with 5 rebounds and 7 assists. Houston was also helped by Chris Sinek Jr., who had 18 points and 9 rebounds on the night. For Auburn, Keyshawn Hall put up 20 points and 11 rebounds, and Tahad Pettiford added 15 points, along with 2 steals and 2 blocks. Auburn was unable to get a final shot off. Houston takes the game 73-72. That's all for the Big 12 Roundup Basketball Edition. Thanks for tuning in.
Fixed up Boston. Big 12 still a gauntlet as ever, but hey, Cowboys might be able to hold their own and even see March.
That's right. We'll have to just wait on that. We can't get too far ahead of ourselves. But coming up after the break, we're going to have a breakdown of what happened versus Kansas State and the return of an OSU legend.
And as always, we have our Big 12 expert, Connor Fuchsa. All that and more right after this.
I want to show you something. This is the money we could save by switching from fresh packed California crushed tomatoes to concentrated tomato paste.
I want to show you something too. I got a new door. Go take a look at it.
Nobody uses better ingredients than Little Caesars. Like fresh-packed California crushed tomatoes. Pick up a large, deep dish for just $8.
Pizza. Introducing Lincoln Black Label at Diffie Ford Lincoln. Designed to impress those with impeccable taste, Lincoln Black Label features a collection of interior themes and a host of exclusive membership privileges inspired by attention to detail and a love of automobiles. With Lincoln Black Label, you'll enjoy an extended premium maintenance plan that covers wear items or even remote vehicle delivery. Lincoln Black Label isn't about luxury ownership, it's about membership. Lincoln Black Label, exclusively at Diffie.
Welcome back into the Poke Report, and thanks for sticking with us through that break. Now, Zach, Cowboy football was so close to getting their first conference win of the season against K-State, but they just could not close it out.
Yeah, Peyton, it was a tough one. I felt like a game of missed opportunities, so close yet so far. But to break down that matchup versus K-State, once again, is Boston Barnett.
Oklahoma State football is still searching for its first conference win since 2023. They took on the Kansas State Wildcats this past weekend and fought hard. Both teams' defenses were strong in the first quarter, with the only points coming from a 47-yard Logan Ward field goal. The Cowboys opened up the second quarter with another 47-yard field goal from Ward, taking a 6-0 lead over the Wildcats. OSU's next drive came to an early end when Zane Flores was hit while throwing, and the pass was picked off by Zayshawn Rich. Kansas State then gets on the board with a 34-yard touchdown pass to J.C. Brown to take the lead 7-6. The Cowboys followed that up with a good drive that ended in a missed 55-yard field goal from Ward. Then Kansas State missed a field goal of their own from 38 yards out. OSU ended the half on a Hail Mary attempt that was picked off in the end zone by V.J. Payne. Start of the second half, K-State still up 7-6. Avery Johnson throws an interception to Parker Robertson. That interception sets up the Cowboys with a red zone possession that ended in a Zane Flores fumble. OSU forces Kansas State to punt before fumbling the ball again in the red zone for another turnover.
That first one, it just happened to come around from behind, just barely clip his arm and knock the ball out. So the last thing on earth you'd want to have happen, So, but it happened, and then we just kept fighting back. And then we turned it over again, and we kept fighting back. We were right there at the end to win it, and it just didn't happen.
Fourth quarter now, still 7-6 Kansas State until Joe Jackson breaks through for a 15-yard rushing touchdown, making the score 14-6 Wildcats. The Cowboys put together a good drive until a trick play went sideways and running back Trent Howland's pass was picked off by Daniel Cobbs. After a Kansas State punt, OSU had one more chance but was unable to convert on a 4th and long. Although Oklahoma State's offense struggled, the defense played great and was anchored by Parker Robertson.
It was definitely helpful having that bye week. We had 2 weeks to prepare for them, so we had a good scheme going into it, and just having those reps over and over at practice, and they were running exactly what we practiced, so everyone was in the right gaps, right fits, and playing fast and not really thinking of, oh, I got to do this, so everyone was just playing a lot faster today.
Kansas State takes the win 14-6. The Cowboys' next game is at the University of Central Florida on Saturday, November 22nd at 3 p.m. Central on ESPN+. For the Poke Report, I'm Boston Barnett.
Thanks to that Boston, man, really hoping for a win, but who knows? Maybe they'll be able to get it next week versus UCF. Now, Peyton, there was some more fun in that game than, just the competitiveness. Back behind us, Justin Blackman got put into the Ring of Honor. Parker Jarrell has a story of what went down during halftime.
The Oklahoma State football team's struggles did continue again on Saturday, but fans in attendance did get an extra treat. At halftime of the Cowboys' 14-6 loss to Kansas State, Justin Blackman, one of the program's all-time best players, was inducted into the Ring of Honor.
Blackman has a case for the best college receiver ever. He's one of only 2 players to win the Biletnikoff Award twice, given to the nation's best wideout, and was a 2-time All-American. In his OSU career, which spanned from 2008 to 2011, Blackman finished with more than 3,500 yards and scored 40 touchdowns. 14 years later, his place in OSU history was stamped at Boone Pickens Stadium.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome home Justin Blackman, along with his family. He is joined on the field by OSU Director of Athletics, Chad Weigler.
Post-game, OSU interim coach Doug Meacham said it was awesome that Blackman finally got inducted into the Ring of Honor, and he reflected on his time around Blackman when he was on staff coaching Blackman years ago.
I'd say in my career, best receiver I've ever been around on a team, I know there's probably guys that are arguably better, but on a team that I coached on, he's probably the best one. could have used him today, But, a guy won 2 Biletnikoffs, which has only been done one other time. I think Crabtree did it.
Letting Justin Blackman just stretch out and race and go get it. That's a Heisman candidate type play. That's a very difficult catch to make.
For a fact, the line of scrimmage at Cowboy 19 and Whedon back to pass. 4-man rush. Throws it deep down the middle for Justin Blackman. He makes the catch and he's gone. Good night, Vienna. Pistols firing. Touchdown, Oklahoma State. The third of the night for Justin Blackman.
Blackman's place in OSU history has long been stamped, but the official induction into the Ring of Honor was the latest accomplishment for the storied wide receiver, who also reached the College Football Hall of Fame last year. When Blackman was welcomed into the Ring of Honor by the PA announcer on Saturday, it was maybe the largest crowd pop of the entire game. Fans in attendance got flashbacks to OSU's best season in 2011 when Blackman was starring for the Cowboys. And Blackman on Saturday had a bunch of his former teammates in attendance, including quarterback Brandon Whedon. It was a huge accomplishment for the longtime storied receiver, Justin Blackman.
3, 2, 1. Justin Blackman, welcome to the top. To make it official, fellow Ring of Honor member Terry Miller will now present Justin with a traditional bright orange blazer, signifying his induction. Cowboy fans, let's hear it again for the latest Cowboy legend and Ring of Honor member, one of the greatest student athletes in the history of Oklahoma State University, number 81, wide receiver, Justin Blackman.
Thanks, Parker. Always love to see a legend getting honored right here inside BPS.
That's right, Zach. And with each week, we're drawing nearer and nearer to conference champions. And the competition is as high as ever. Our Big 12 expert, Connor Fuchs, is going to come on with a guest, and they're going to make some predictions for the future of the Big 12.
Welcome into the Big 12 Expert segment. I'm Connor Fuchs here with Mason Belisle. And now this week we're going to do things differently. Usually I'm breaking down the biggest Big 12 football matchups from last week, but we're getting towards the end of the season. So we're going to look ahead towards the Big 12 championship and the college football playoffs. So I talked about some scenarios last week for the Big 12. So right now I've got a guest, Mason Belisle, and we're going to talk about who we think is going to be playing in Arlington for the Big 12 championship and then who's going to win it. So Mason, who do you got playing in Arlington and who's your winner?
I've got Texas Tech and BYU playing in Arlington. The rematch for BYU.
Mm-hmm.
And I have Texas Tech winning. I don't think BYU wins the rematch.
Yeah, so you think BYU
I do
goes
think
down?
they get it.
Yeah, so you think BYU goes down twice to the Red Raiders?
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah. I mean, it's gonna sound a little basic. I think I've got the same prediction right now. BYU, I think, is the last one-loss team with Tech now that Cincinnati lost this past week.
Yep.
So as long as BYU can stay perfect, it's their ticket to punch. Tech is going to stay perfect. I mean, maybe I'm jinxing them here, but they're gonna stay perfect. So it's gonna be Tech BYU. It's a little bit harder for me. It's hard to beat a team twice in any sport. It's hard to beat a team twice, but in the manner that Tech beat them the first time, absolutely just destroying them, I don't see it being much closer the second time. So I'm also going to go with Texas Tech. So now, in that scenario, Texas Tech gets their bid punched. They'll be a top 5 seed, most likely, in the college football playoff. Can the Big 12 get another team? Does a 2-loss BYU team, that their only 2 losses are to that Tech team, make it? Does Utah, who's been moving up in the rankings, find their way in with their only losses being to BYU and Tech? Like, is there a world for a second bid?
There could be. If the ACC blows up on itself,
yeah,
I think there's a wide open door for the Big 12 to get that second bid. I don't think it'll be Utah. I think it'll be BYU because their only 2 losses are to a top 5 team.
Yeah.
So I think that'll probably play out because I don't see the ACC bringing anybody now.
Yeah, I mean, they kind of have to. You think bringing no one? You think there's 2 group of 5s that make it? Or are you saying, like, no one besides their auto bid?
No one besides their auto bid.
Okay, yeah. No, I agree. ACC's only going to get their auto bid. I feel like what hurt the Big 12 this past weekend was OU, though. The Big 12, to get a second team in, one of those BYUs or Utahs, they needed OU to lose, and they needed Texas to lose.
Now the SEC has 5 teams.
Exactly. Like, they got Texas out of there, but now OU is basically a lock to make it into the playoffs. Bama's still going to be in there. Georgia, Ole Miss, and who am I missing? A&M. So, yeah, they got 5 in there. The Big Ten's going to have 3 or 4. And so, I mean, with the auto bids left, that's it. So,
someone's got to get upset, and someone's got to get upset pretty bad for the Big 12 to get a second team. But if you're saying your pick would be BYU of the two?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know. I'm torn. BYU has the head-to-head with Utah, so it's hard to put Utah over BYU. But if BYU loses in like dominant fashion again to Tech, Utah has more ranked wins on the season, and they've looked better in most of their games. Obviously, though, they do have that head-to-head loss. So it would be interesting, but it's going to be hard for the Big 12 to get anyone in besides Texas Tech. Now, final question, real quick. Can Tech win it all? Can the Big 12 win a national championship or no?
No, not this year.
Not this year.
Not this year.
Yeah, I'm going to say the same thing. I think they could even make it to a semifinal, like a Final Four, but I don't see them making it to the national championship, and I don't see them winning it all. So tough year for the Big 12. They were looking promising there for a minute, but BYU taking that tough loss, Tech kind of ruined their chances. So, Well, thank you for joining me, Mason. We'll send it back to y'all, Peyton and Zach.
Thanks for that, Connor. I can't wait to see what the conference foretells as for the future of the Big 12.
Yeah, it'll be exciting. But hey, we got one more commercial break, so don't go anywhere. But when we come back, we're going to cover some cross country and, as always, our pick'em segment. All that and more in the Poke Report right after this.
I want to show you something. This is the money we could save by switching from fresh packed California crushed tomatoes to concentrated tomato paste.
I want to show you something too. I got a new door. Go take a look at it.
Nobody uses better ingredients than Little Caesars. Like fresh packed California crushed tomatoes. Pick up a large, deep dish for just $8.
Pizza.
Introducing Lincoln Black Label at Diffie Ford Lincoln. Designed to impress those with impeccable taste, Lincoln Black Label features a collection of interior themes and a host of exclusive membership privileges, inspired by attention to detail and a love of automobiles. With Lincoln Black Label, you'll enjoy an extended premium maintenance plan that covers wear items or even remote vehicle delivery. Lincoln Black Label isn't about luxury ownership, it's about membership. Lincoln Black Label, exclusively at Diffie.
Welcome back into the Pub Report. Thanks for sticking with us through that break.
Now, to several fans, cross country necessarily isn't one of those sports that gets all the hype and all the fancy things. However, at Oklahoma State, they are building one of the most prestigious programs here, and it's definitely on the uprise.
Absolutely. Well, some people may not know, this year they've been building a huge name for themselves. Our own Chloe Reeves breaks down how they performed at the Midwest Regionals.
The cross-country season is coming to an end, with both Cowboy and Cowgirl cross-country teams headed to nationals to complete the season. For the third straight season, the OSU cross-country teams have swept the region, making history as the first team in the NCAA Midwest region to do so.
We want to have a legacy, this program to have a legacy, and to look back and say, what did we do? And if you win the Cowboy Jamboree or whatever meets you go to in the year, who cares? But winning conference titles and national titles, that's what it's all about. And so it's an important meet for us.
Both teams are no stranger in competing for the national championship. The Cowboys won their 5th national title in 2023, while the Cowgirls are still working toward their first. It's an air of confidence as the teams head to Columbia, Missouri, looking to add more trophies to the case. Ask Cowgirls assistant coach Abby Frederick, who's ready to help the team win the first NCAA title in a female sport at Oklahoma State.
Oh gosh, it would mean I'd probably cry. I don't cry often, but I would probably cry if that happened. But it would mean a lot, and I think just for the women too, they worked so hard, and they deserve every good thing that's coming to them. And I think I would like it for the team and for head coach Dave, but I want that for them more than I want it for anyone else. For them to succeed and for them to again have all the good things coming towards them.
The Cowboys are entering the final race at number 1 in the country, having beat defending Big 12 and NCAA champions BYU at the conference meet. The Cowgirls are ranked number 9, entering nationals. It will be challenging for the Cowboys to keep the top spot and for the Cowgirls to take their first title. Both teams are looking to carry the momentum into Columbia for one final race. For the Poke Report, I'm Chloe Reeves.
Thanks for that, Chloe. Hopefully both the Cowboys and Cowgirls can bring the national championship back here to Stillwater.
That's right. Now, Zach, this is my favorite time of the show. It's the Pick'em segment, and I'm still only up on you one game.
Going back and forth.
It's giving me a little bit of anxiety, but we got it.
Who knows? Maybe we'll decide a little bit more this week, or we could go chalk again. Let's start in the Big 12. We got the number 11 BYU Cougars traveling over to Cincinnati to take on the sneaky Bearcats. What do you got for this one, Peyton?
I think this could be a difficult matchup being on the road for the Cougars. However, I like how their team's looking a little bit more than Cincinnati. I got the Cougars on this one.
Yeah, listen, Sorsby and the Bearcats have looked really, really good. They've had a little bit of a slow part of their season, but they usually kind of have these trap games for these high ranked teams. But listen, Bear and BYU, they're rolling. So I'll agree with you on the Cougars on this one. Now, next up, we got Tennessee going to Florida. Florida always struggle. Fire Napier, TJ Lagway just not it. So I don't think they can get it done even in the swamp. I'll go Tennessee on this.
I am also going Tennessee. Florida is one of those teams that it could be a hard environment to play at, but at the same time, I've seen how they've been playing, and
yeah, that's fair. Okay, let's stick with some SEC play. We got a ranked matchup. We got Mizzou heading to Oklahoma.
I'll pick Merciless.
Okay.
I don't want to pick OU. However, I feel like it could be a little bit stupid not to. But I'm not counting out Mizzou.
Yeah.
I think it definitely could go either way. But for my pick'em's sake, I'm gonna go OU.
Yeah, Missouri has been in a lot of good games this year. They've been able to finish them, but they've been in a lot of good games. So I do think OU at home will take care of business. You beat Bama, you beat Tennessee, right? You should handle Mizzou. Now, next up, another nice ranked matchup. We got USC traveling to Eugene to take on Oregon. What do you have on this one?
You can go first.
I can go first on this one. Listen, I'll be a little different.
I take it back.
All right.
Maybe.
All right, then you go first.
Okay, I was gonna pick USC.
Okay.
Oregon's a hard place to play at. They got that little shout thing that they do. I don't know. It's been all over my TikTok recently, so that's in the back of my brain. However, I've seen how they've been kind of not playing to their full potential. I like USC in upset.
All right, well, I need to shake things up a little bit. So, listen, this is a test for Dan Lanning and his Ducks. It's no secret. They've had too many close games with opponents that they shouldn't be having close games. But with that said, I'll go back on what my original word was going to be. I think that'll just motivate Lanning and the Ducks and Dante Moore so much more. So I think they take care of business at home in Eugene. Finally, OSU, UCF. Listen, hey, it was really they should have won this Duck weekend. Let's be real. 2 fumbles, 3 interceptions, all in the red zone. So I really should have won that one. Defense actually looked solid for the first time all season long. With that said, it's the bounce house.
I agree, and we saw what happened to you.
It's UCF, and it was brutal 2 years ago. I think they have a chance, but I'm gonna go the continuous spiral of OSU losing.
I agree. I'm also going UCF. But I think it's gonna be ugly. I'm gonna be honest. I think it's gonna be really ugly. Hopefully not as ugly as it was that shutout loss a couple years ago. But I think it's going to be pretty bad.
Yeah. Well, hey, that's what we have today from the Poke Report. Thanks for joining us this week.
I'm Peyton Schmidt.
I'm Zach Berger. Go Pokes.